Lamont Roach Sr., ever the optimist, ever the strategist, you know what I mean, the brain power behind Lamont Roach. I'm not going to say that he's solely the brain power because you could tell Roach is smart in his own right as well. But Lamont Roach Sr. said they're going to figure out Shakur the same way that they figured out Tank. And that's what you want to hear from the commander in chief, the father, the corner man of Lamont Roach. You want to hear real competitiveness. They didn't doubt for a second that they could beat Tank. That man believes in himself and he believes in his son. Now, do I think Lamont Roach is going to beat Shakur? Here's the thing about Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach has things that Shakur doesn't have, in my opinion. But they both fight in a similar style, and Shakur is better at that style than Lamont Roach, in my opinion. So what is something that Lamont has that Shakur doesn't have? I think Lamont takes more risks than Shakur, and I think he takes a punch better than Shakur. I think he has greater punch resistance. I think he's also a naturally stronger man. Lamont is very, very strong. He's not just muscular; he has strength to go with those muscles, and I think that's where Tank struggled because Tank, that was a lot of physicality that Lamont brings into that fight. But the fact that Lamont isn't afraid to take risks, he's gonna force Shakur to really have to let his hands go in order to win. Now, when I say Shakur and Lamont fighting a similar style, the reason why Lamont was so dominant against Tank is because Tank, in order to throw his best power shots, he likes to loop his shots. So you have fighters that loop their shots. Hagler liked to loop the shot. Ray Robinson liked to loop the shot. Tank liked to loop the shot. The looping shots, if you're athletic, you land them and you generate more power when you're coming from the hip and dipping down and catapulting your body and all that stuff. But it takes longer. If you're getting there with another man who's athletic or maybe quicker than you or maybe a little bit not as quick as you but still quick, and he's throwing straight shots, he's going to beat you to the punch every time. That's what was happening in the Lamont Roach and Tank fight. Lamont shoulder rolling, coming back with straight shots. Tank is trying to throw the looping shots, trying to throw the big hooks and stuff like that. And Lamont sees the shot, counters it, straight shot. And then Lamont was just working a jab. Another thing that Lamont and Shakur do, they throw extremely short punches. They're hooks. They throw straights and very, very short hooks. Rarely will you see them throw uppercut. But their punches are super accurate, super short. So it's like straight up technician type of boxing. The only thing is, if you're doing this pure boxing style behind the shoulder roll, which Lamont likes a lot, Shakur could do the shoulder roll, but Lamont is actually more comfortable with it, and that's one of his go-to defenses. But when you're doing that, and it becomes a game of tag and reflexes, and I think Shakur's reflexes are better than Lamont's, and I also think Shakur has faster feet. So Lamont will have to fight in a rougher style in order to really have a chance of winning this. I don't think he should try to fight Shakur at mid-range because Shakur is going to have the advantage. I think Shakur has better eyes, better reflexes, and faster feet. And they both going to go in there trying to land those sharp shots and those straight shots and trying to counter. Shakur is going to win that game. But Lamont, he has an aspect of him, a winningest aspect to him. He's a rough dude, tough guy, very strong, and he's willing to get hit. And he could take the best punches. I mean, we saw him deal with Tank's power, and I believe he could deal with Shakur's power. We know Shakur doesn't hit like Tank. Even though Shakur, his hits hurt. Whenever somebody is that sharp, trust me, the punches hurt. This is a fight that I'll be excited to see. Probably not going to sell that much. I hope it does, but the thing is, these guys are practically friends, so where's the drama going to come from to get the casuals interested? And that's what's really missing from boxing. Muhammad Ali used to make up drama. Sometimes you got to make stuff up if you're really trying to do these numbers and make this money. But I don't know if Lamont and Shakur, like they both talk about like they don't want to be clowns and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know if they understand. Part of it is about skill in boxing, but you don't want to be too cool for school because you'll leave a lot of money on the table. Part of it is also entertainment. So you got to put on the show, show people different aspects of your personality. But as far as the fight goes, I would say it's 55-45 in favor of Shakur just because of his youth, his reflexes, footwork and stuff like that. If Lamont pushes the issue from round one like he did in the Tank fight, don't be surprised if he wins because that man, his his pressure, his aggression. You know what I mean? It's a lot to deal with. If you don't believe me, go ask Tank Davis. Like, it's not, when you're in there with somebody and they can come forward like that and keep up the pace. I was shocked that it took him, a couple rounds to start doing that to Pitbull, but he broke Pitbull down once he started standing in that pocket on the inside and just chopping him down. And after 6 rounds, Pitbull was done. But y'all let me know what y'all think.